Surface area of a cylinder, in my mind, is easy in that it's going to be a formula that you just have to memorize. The bad part is that it's a formula that you just have to memorize. For surface area of a cylinder, once again, surface area deals with the outside. And there's two parts to the formula. Because if we're dealing with the outside, we have to think that we have two circles and we have a lateral surface. Well, we know that area of a circle, fuzzy wuzzy was a bear, area of a circle is pi r squared. And there's two of them. So the first part of the formula dealing with two circles is going to be 2 pi r squared. If you were only asked about one circle, you would just do pi r squared. We're asked about them together, so we know there's the plus. Now, the lateral surface deals with the circumference, because if you think of you unfold a soup label, the long part of the soup label is the circumference if we fold it all around, and we know that circumference is 2 pi r, and then the width of the label is going to be the height of the cylinder, the height of the can, so we get h. Now, this looks to be incredibly confusing, I know. So let me give you something to help you remember. 2 pi's r square and 2 pi's r hot. Now, you'll notice that I've used lowercase r, uppercase h. There's a reason for that. When you're dealing with a 2D figure, it should all be lowercase when you're dealing with formulas. Formulas for 3D figures are going to be capitalized. So the fact that radius is dealing with just the circle, a circle's two-dimensional, radius would be lowercase. Height of the cylinder is dealing with three-dimensional, therefore the height of the cylinder should be capitalized, or capital H. Now let's take this information and take a look at our two examples. The first thing we know that you're going to be asked to do is write out the formula to ensure that you're using the correct one, because once we get into volume, you're going to have a lot of formulas that you're going to have to remember and keep straight, and it just gets to be a little overwhelming. Taking a look at this, we should note that we are doing 2 times pi times radius squared plus 2 times pi times radius times the height of the cylinder. One thing that I like to write is somewhere on the figure, make sure you know what your two dimensions are, because there's going to come a time where you're dealing with a radius or times that you're dealing with a diameter, and that involves two different things. Now we can plug in our information. 2 times 3.14 times our radius of 4 squared plus 2 times pi times radius times height. Easiest way to do this on your calculators, especially when you're doing them at home or a calculator that does not do order of operations, is solve them in two parts. And my expectation is that you will solve this in two parts. First thing I want you to do is all of the two circles first and the lateral surface. Do them separately, so that way if you make a mistake, we can really figure out, is it you plugged in a number, used the wrong formula, did you plug them in wrong, did you multiply incorrectly, or was it an addition error? We end up with 2 times 3.14 times 4 times 4, so the area of the two circles is 100.48, and the area of the lateral surface is 150.72, and when we combine those, we get 251.2 inches squared. Now let's take a look at the second one. We know that h is going to equal 12. To get r, we should note that 7's the diameter. It goes all the way across. Notice that on the first example, 4 only went halfway. On the second example, 7 goes all the way across. So we're going to have to divide 7 by 2 because we only want to go halfway. And that's going to equal 3.5. as our radius. We know the expectation is that we're going to write out the formula. We know that if we write it out, we are more likely to remember it. So write it out every time. The two circles, 2 times 3.14 times radius squared. If you want to write radius squared, that's fine. I don't trust that it's going to come out right on here, so that's why I'm writing it out this way, because I think it's a little more clear on here. Then we're going to add 2 times radius, 2 times pi times radius times height. 2 times pi times 3.5 squared, or 2 pi r squared, the two circles, gives you an area of 76.93 inches squared, and the lateral surface is 263.76 inches squared. And when we combine them, we get a total surface area of 340.69 inches squared.